Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I want to talk a little bit about Chapter 7 in our Fire and Emergency Services Administration textbook. It's titled Customer Service. And I'm a little embarrassed to say that I really looked at this chapter for the first time. I mean, I've looked at it, but not with a very critical eye. And I think the author missed the mark. Um, I, Customer service, we think about fire and emergency services, we don't think about customer service very much. And I believe that it is the crux of what we do. It's not the crux of what we do, it's how we do it, how we treat people. And I think that it is one of the most valued aspects of the fire service that many times we miss the boat. We think that just because we're a monopoly, a sole service agency, that there is customer service is negligible. And I hope that each of you knows that today that is not true. When I first started in the fire service, a lot of times you put out the fire and poor people are left standing with their mailbox, and that's all they got left, and we drive away. And I hope that you know that we don't do that anymore. If we are doing that, we need to stop. The book talks about a lot of different aspects of what it considers customer service, and I think that there are more challenges to service delivery than it is about customer service. Response times, whether you send a full response, whether you drive emergency. We do want to get there fast. But what I think about customer service, I mean, that's part of the job. That's part of our responsibility. That's like, it's not going above and beyond when we think about customer service. And so read the chapter. I was going to do just a narrated PowerPoint, and then I decided that I was not going to do that. So read through the chapter. There's a lot about EMS in there, and private versus public, keeping pace. There's one short paragraph about keeping pace with community demographics, which if I had written this chapter would be a lot of what the chapter's about, is people. Because when you think about it, the things that they've discussed in the chapter don't have to do with people. And that is what it talks about, even fire prevention and sprinkler systems. That I don't see that. I see that as our job. That is not, customer service in my mind. In a sense, maybe it is, but for the most part, it is. That's part of our job. That's what we do. It does. The chapter didn't speak to how we do it, and I think that that's an important piece. One of the what I would call founders of customer service, the concept of customer service in the fire service or fire and emergency services, was Fire Chief Alan Brunacini from Phoenix, Arizona. He has since retired. He's still active on the speaking circuit, but he did write a book entitled "The Essentials of Customer Service." And if you ever get a chance to read that book, I would encourage you. I looked for it on Galileo, and I don't think it's there, but he speaks to Mrs. Smith, and Mrs. Smith is the customer, and that's the way he refers to her throughout the book, and through anyone that's ever heard Brunacini speak will remember Mrs. Smith. And I'm going to try to find some videos as well. But I looked through and I found some articles that he has written, and I've put those in the reading resources and information section, whatever that is, under Chapter 7. I want you to read those. Read the chapter. We're gonna do that. Your little quizzes over that. Probably next time I teach this, we're not going to read that chapter. But there's short articles, 3 to 4 pages, that he did a series of articles called Nice School. Um, the mission statement in Phoenix, it's a couple of sentences or it's a couple of phrases, and one of them is "be nice." And so he speaks to that, and I really think that he talks a lot in some of these articles. There's 6 of them, if I didn't say that already. But he speaks about, when we overwhelm the customer with our knowledge and our equipment and our bells and whistles, we have kind of negated their emergency in some way. Um, you know, uh, One of them he talks about, when you go to Mrs. Smith's house in the middle of the night, she's had a little kitchen fire because she did something, it's, as he says, nobody ever calls us because they did something smart. Many times calls are because it's something stupid. Think about your frequent flyers and the chance there to make a difference for people. That's what customer service is to me in the fire service. It's that chance to impact someone. I've always said that if somebody, we do know that people call 911 for things that maybe aren't emergencies. Um, but also in that same sense, we have to think about if they called 911, it was an emergency to them. And for many people, they don't call when they should. And so we can't degrade or degrade their sense of emergency. We can't overwhelm them with all our bells and whistles, because at some point in time they may get the opportunity, as Brunacini says, to overwhelm us or dismiss us. Read these articles. You have a discussion question, but I want us to have a healthy discussion about what is customer service in fire and emergency services. How do you balance that with doing your job? Read some of Brunacini's examples. When he first came out with some of this stuff, it was, people thought he was crazy because of some of the things that they did in Phoenix. People were worried about liability. People were worried about Mrs. Smith getting hurt. What about trucks that were out of service while they were taking care of Mrs. Smith's emergency? But think about those things. Read those articles. Like I say, there's 6 of them. There's another article in there. Choke an elephant. No, eat an elephant, choke on a gnat. Another great article about customer service. And there's also a video that's not Brunacini, but tells a great story about what customer service is. In your chapter at the very end, there's a little blurb about the extra mile. And I can buy that as being good customer service. Some of the things that they mention, I still think are part of our job. And maybe that's just because I see good customer service as a part of our job. But, how can we wow people? Because in hard times, people that have been wowed by fire and emergency services are going to return that favor. And we've seen that over and over. So I apologize for not catching the deficiencies in this chapter earlier. But I like I say, go ahead and read it. But really spend some time with those articles, and then let's have a healthy discussion about customer service and how we can draw the line or balance, not draw the line, but balance customer service with doing our job. And just remember, sometimes we're given customer service, it's just not good customer service. And that comes back to haunt us and can very, very intensely. So just take a minute, read those things. I'm going to put this video, well, I guess you already know I'm going to put this video on the website, on the course site. But let me know if you have any questions about this. And again, think about customer service, added value, extra mile, what that means to you in your job, and how we can do that each and every time while still doing our job. Thanks so much, and I appreciate your time.